An eargasm of learning in a no-fuss show. Welcome to the Creative Talk Podcast, where you can learn straightforward topics about branding, digital entrepreneurship, online business, and many more with your charming host, John Santos, along with inspiring entrepreneurs, creators, and thought leaders worldwide.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Creative Talk Podcast with me, John Santos, and I'm full of energy. Why? Because we have a very, very special guest. She is an author, a keynote speaker, live illustrator, guys, live illustrator, business consultant for Fortune 100 companies. That's big. Powerhouse guest, Wonder Woman, guys. Founder of founder of a company that really changed people's lives. I'm a fan. I've been watching videos and learning a lot from our guest for today. She made a TED Talk that went viral. Guys, the video that I watched earlier is on 800,000 views, and there's a lot of videos, and I just got one. So we have a very, very powerful guest in this episode. I'm a fan, and I'm excited to learn a lot more. Founder of Up Your Creative Genius. It's a revolutionized company, consulting, and really making a difference in this world. You can tell that I'm a fanboy, guys.
You're getting out of control, Dan. You're getting out of control. He's going over the tip.
When you talk about energy, positive vibes, valuable learning, I'm just amazed. Plus, our special guest is very humble, very kind, and I just feel the authenticity and love with this person. So, let's all welcome in this episode our special guest, PATTI Dobrowolski. Welcome to the show.
Woo! Thank you so much. You are so amazing. I mean, I love everything that you're doing. So this is just going to be a love fest for everybody listening. That's what's true. We're going to give some tips. We're going to talk about stuff. Then we're going to share, and I'm going to tell my story, all that. But you are amazing what you're doing in the world too. So I just want to say I'm honored to be here. That's what's true.
Wow, guys. Again, we are in the presence of greatness.
He's crazy. That's insane.
Well, with that said, PATTI, you've been in the business for so long. Meeting people, speaking engagements, different countries, different, communities, different tribes, if you may use that word. And you've changed people's lives. I always say this, that once you change people's lives, there you can see an authentic expert at play. And definitely you are one of those experts that I'm really amazed. I'm excited, and I'm sure our listeners and viewers are very excited to know first who or what influence you to be in this position of greatness, reaching out, touching, and transforming lives. The floor is yours, my friend. Feel free to share.
Oh, thank you so much. So really, I would just say, here's just a little story. I was an actor. I wasn't really performance artist. And all I wanted to do was be in the theater, but I wasn't that great at it. So a friend of mine told me, you should go to New York and take some real acting lessons. So I went there. When I was there, I got to stay with a Broadway actress, and she got me totally interested in being on Broadway and what it would be like. She mentored me. She got me into some acting classes, and this was just for a summer, but it imprinted on me. Her name is Dale Soul. So she's like in Orange is the New Black. She's been on Broadway in multiple shows. She's really amazing. And she took me under her wing. And then, after the summer's over and I go back to where I'm living in Seattle, Washington, right on the West Coast, I think, I'm just fantasizing about being on Broadway. And I had such a good time. New York was the coolest place to be. And then this weird thing happens. I get a call out of the blue. And at this point, I'm kind of desperate for a job. So it really came as like one of those little miracle moments. And they called me to audition for a show. Now, I just want to say I never, ever got called because I didn't look the part. I wasn't the part. And so I went and I auditioned, and honestly, the stage manager thought I was cute. And that's why I got in that show. It wasn't because I could dance. It wasn't because I could do any of the stuff. I kind of faked my way through it. But thank God that Nancy Harrington really liked me because I got into the show. And then it went from the little tiny theater, the main stage of the Seattle Rep. It went, later to the Kennedy Center, and then it went to Broadway. And to me, this changed everything because I realized if I, scraping it together as a waitress could get myself on Broadway, then anything was possible. And so then I thought anything was possible, and I did a bunch of shows. I got some terrible reviews with my own work. I had and I went back to school. And
Do you remember one of that terrible reviews about
Oh
you?
yeah, the review was can't sing, can't dance, can't act, can't write, don't bother. That was the review in the Portland Tribune, right? I go down and I'm so excited to get the review. This is back in the days where you had to go to the box and get the paper, right? So I go there, I'm super excited. Woo, it's gonna be great. Open it up, and that's the review. And here's what I did: I folded shop. I decided I wasn't gonna be an actor anymore. Whoa. I moved to San Francisco. I moved from Seattle. I was like, because I couldn't bear it when people would say, oh, when's your next show? And I was like, I can't perform anymore. I'm not worth it, whatever. So anyway, I'm in San Francisco. I'm weeding people's yards for money. And I go back and I get a degree, a master's in psychology with an emphasis in drama therapy. But the problem was I wasn't really a great therapist, and I didn't want to be in an office with somebody all day long. So my friend Michael Stark, and this guy really changed my life because he said, you should come in to business and work with me. And so I thought, all right. And he was just trying to make it himself, but he was a consummate salesperson. He taught me how to earn money. He really was. I always say you were like my pimp in those days because he would send me into these jobs where they'd riffed a bunch of people, they'd fired a bunch of people, and then they'd bring me in as the change agent because I was a drama therapist. And so I would help people talk about the change. And I needed to find a way to get people to pivot quicker. And so I saw someone draw a picture in a meeting that I was in with Michael. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do that. I'm not an artist, but I had really great handwriting. So that's how I got started.
Wow.
I just started to draw. Yeah.
So you were never in an art school?
No, I never had to. I took one art class from Marilyn Frasca because I had a dream, and she had me do a life drawing class. That was it. I never knew how to draw at all.
Wow.
So I did an internship, of course, with a woman who was drawing live for about 3 months. And I was like, Janet, I'm going to move to Colorado because I fell in love with somebody there. And so bye. And so I left San Francisco, moved to Colorado, and I met Janine Underhill, who was a live illustrator. Wow. And she and I started our first business.
Wow.
And that, and then it, from there, I just went on trying to draw as many pictures as I could. And somewhere in there, I came up with the Draw Your Future process, which you saw in that TED Talk.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm curious what happened that catapult you in using the power of arts, focusing on imagery, and really making an impact. What happened? Who can you tell me the story in that part?
Yes. So myself, you can imagine when I wasn't an actor anymore, I didn't know what I was going to do. So I became a drama therapist, and really I just healed myself. But I knew that wasn't the path for me. And so when Michael said, here's how you make money, come work with me in business, here, do some team building with these people. And then I saw the drawing. What happened was I remembered when I had done the, to get on Broadway, I had read all these books about manifestation. I had read about how athletes envision the future and how they make it real, and so when the visual happened and the guy did it, I was like, oh my God, if you do an inner vision and an outer picture, then stuff happens. Jan, stuff happens when you do that.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow.
It's
truly amazing.
It is, and why does it happen? Here's why: because your brain, it is a picture maker. Everybody says, "Oh, well, we are a visual learner, or we're a somatic learner, or whatever." No, we all create pictures to create reality. The pictures that you create in your mind every time you're looking at something, you're snapping a picture, and your brain pulls that onto the prefrontal cortex and it mixes it together and it decides the story. So this is why when two people see the same thing, if we're looking at the same thing together, we'd have a completely different story because our brains are mixing it up with everything we heard, or saw or experienced, and you saw or heard or experienced. So you're going to see it from your perspective and I'm going to see it from mine. But the power is that it's the picture. The picture is powerful.
Right. Imagery.
Yes. And,
I love that.
And when you draw a picture of your future, which I'm sure you've done in some capacity, even if you've just done it with your imagination, it changes everything.
Wow.
Because if you draw it into a literal picture, even if you can't draw, it's even better because the research shows that if you draw a bad picture, you remember it better than a good picture. So no wonder people in my meetings would be like, wow, I remembered everything from that. And I would be like, yeah, that's because I drew a bad picture.
Wow.
And for the first many years I did. I drew like 4 years of bad pictures before I got good.
Wow, Patty, my respect for you just went up and up and up. And, I'm amazed. Like, it's so powerful, and I agree because I took up fine arts and majored in advertising. The core of core of branding. And
why aren't you a draw your future person with me? I mean, if you're doing branding with people, you could draw a picture of where they are, where they want to be. 3 bold steps to get there. Boom.
Yeah, and that's why I totally agree with it. When I saw your video, I really said that because I'm an advocate of using imagery. When back in the days, go before everything else, caveman, there's imagery. People depicts everything. And that's why I'm so fascinated with your talk, with the way you convey your brand. It's the power of images. And jump forward to this generation, we're using video, the content, the newest content out there. And
it's all video.
Yes, it's imagery. Yes. Numbers of frames, like what you've said earlier, our minds snap shots of things that we see. And
yes, and it believes that we did all that. That's the thing. And what's interesting is, now they have AI, which can superimpose you into every single video you want to. So we're going to have a lot of people doing some stuff where they're not real. And they're talking about things they did that didn't really happen, but they happened in AI. And so this is, where we're going to want to be careful about the future and technology. We don't want to be in Atlantis again. Atlantis, I'm just saying, right? That was all about the technology. So here we are again, comes around, goes around, right?
Wow. So, see, I'm enjoying this conversation, guys. The learning, imagine learning from Patty about things, her journey. And, it's so cool that even those technical stuff about, how the brain works, you explain it in a very, very simplest form. In 2 minutes, you talk about how the brain works and how you can change your life and steps that you need to do. I'm referring, guys, to all our listeners and viewers, I'm referring to her video. I'll be sharing the link when this episode is out. But that's one thing that makes Patty great. She can talk about technical stuff and give it to you in the simplest form, plus supported by the power of imagery. And not only that, she will teach you how to do that, right?
That's right. That's my thing, is that I think people underestimate their ability to draw because everybody got told, oh, you can't draw, or you're, this is terrible.
Right.
You should be a scientist, or you should be a doctor, or whatever they tell you, you know, and that's what they told me. So I didn't draw, at all. I mean, I would just do I would do bubble lettering. But I tell people I'm a highly paid poster girl and pep commissioner because that's what I was in high school. I was the poster girl and pep commissioner. So I did all the posters for all of the athletic events that would hang, And so that just cracks me up now because they say that you become whatever you were in high school. And I'm like, yep, that happened to me. So, but the other thing is for people listening is even if you just doodle a picture of where you are right now and how everything's going, what's going well, what's challenging. And then on the opposite side of your page, you put a desired future that you dream about, the things that you lie awake in bed and you think about, I'm going to make a lot of money and I'm going to have my own business and I'm going to be married or whatever it is, have a life partner, all these things around health and fitness, all of this. If you draw that into a picture and then in the center, you choose 3 bold steps that can get you from where you are to where you're going. The bold steps are the ones that are going to make it happen and then if you take that picture and you put it somewhere you can see it every day, like on your bathroom mirror or on, somewhere on your fridge, wherever it is that you're looking, on your phone, take a picture of it. You are training your brain for that future. And you just have to align, because everything's energy. It's an energy field we live in. So you're putting out the energy that's what you want and it magnetizes it to you. We don't know how that happens and who cares? We don't need to know. What we do know is that you have to put it out there and then you have to take action. Tiny action, not big action. Little tiny steps lead to greatness.
Wow.
Right? When you say little tiny steps and anytime you want to change, this is it. When you want to make a change, don't bury it.
Right.
Don't bury the fact that you have a dream about changing something or becoming something. That will create illness in your body.
Yes.
You have to live an authentic life.
Ooh.
You have to be you. There's only one you. You got to be yourself
right.
and bring what you want, right?
Ooh, Patti, you're on fire.
I'm a fire-breathing dragon right now.
Fire-breathing dragon, right.
Because of podcast launch, I'm like, whoa, yeah, come on, let's do it.
Power. No, wow.
Yeah.
There's so much. That's a master class already. but Patti, one thing I also like about your method, your brand message, how you connect with people, how you help people is, it helps people, entrepreneurs or, not even in business to have an overview of how they can achieve their goals in life. So with that said, I'm excited, and I know our listeners and viewers are excited for you as an expert and a Wonder Woman guest in this show to share tips how to achieve your goals. It may be in life or in business. The floor is yours, my dear. Feel free.
Okay. All right. So here's one thing. You have to know what it is that you want. So if you don't know what you want, this confuses everything in the universe. And so and if you're just starting out, what you want might be the feeling of how you'll feel when you're in your first career or when your business is launched or when you're a billionaire. It's the feeling of that you want to get a handle on. And you want to pretend that you feel that right now. Because remember, I said earlier, we're in energy in the space. So we have to resonate with the future self in order for it to become real. So that sounds really woo-woo, but it's not. What's true is athletes do this all the time. They envision themselves getting gold. But, Marilyn King, she was like a decathlete. She envisioned herself just getting into the arena, right? Where everybody carries the flags. She just went that far. So when it came to doing the long jump, she broke her leg. She broke her ankle. And she realized later that she hadn't seen herself achieving the end goal. So you want to see, what's the end goal for me? And maybe the feeling is, I want to feel loved or valued. I want to feel aligned. So first, understand what it is that you want, what you truly want. Then get some kind of practice for you, meaning a practice of quietness. Whether you meditate or whatever you pray, it doesn't matter. The universe operates on all, there's every spiritual path for anybody's state of consciousness. Find something for you that works. Walking in nature, walking your dog, all these things. And then spend time in that silence, daydreaming. Just daydream this new reality that you want to experience.
I do that.
And when you daydream, you're actually tapping into your creative genius. And so that's like daydreaming, and imagination is the universal language that we all share, right? And we don't even know, we don't know if animals imagine or not, because they don't communicate in the same way, right? But what's true is we do communicate, and we understand that our imagination, it's powerful. Your imagination could take you down the slippery slope or up to the top of the peak, right? You're either going to move forward or backwards. So you got to decide, and so that is really the first step, is to imagine it, right? And the second step is to learn everything you can.
Boom.
Learn everything you can about what it is that you want to be doing. Research, try it, test it. And sometimes people will set out this goal like you want to be published, New York Times bestselling author, or you want to have a successful real estate business and you're going to be like Rob Moore, like this, right? And so, that's an awesome goal to have, but they find out how they started. How did they get there? Like I did with Dale, she really showed me what it was like. She was so unbelievably scrappy, and I'm so happy that she's made it so big, because in between shows, it's always like, what are you going to do, right, when you're an actor? And so that taught me the resilience piece. And that's the third thing I would say is, so first, imagine. 2, take action, learn everything you can. And third is, be resilient. You have to learn to listen to your creative genius. Don't you think?
I love that. Be resilient. I'm also a person who really push people to be resilient, and that's something that we all need in this generation with all the things happening around us.
Yeah, there's so much flux. April Rennie, she says, flux is the new state. And it is. Like, if you think things are going to go back to a new normal, forget it.
Yes.
It's not going to happen.
Speak.
It's only going to accelerate. Don't you think?
I agree. I love you, Patty.
Haven't you seen that even in your business, how fast we have to pivot all the time?
Yes.
Instagram, and then now, no still images. Now you have to have reels all the time.
Yeah.
So these things, like if you didn't keep up on things and you weren't like, okay, now we got to do this.
Right.
Now we got to do that. Your business wouldn't be successful either. And you're so incredible too. Your business is doing so great. I'm so amazed and just so honored that you were a small part of my podcast, because I think it actually was a big part to me as a visual person. Like, what you do visually to me is amazing.
Well,
it's amazing.
We're not going to
your
stop there.
Branding, everything. I'm just giving you, I'm telling you, I'm not here. I'm not a shill for him. I'm just telling you that he's amazing. So, now I want to ask you too, do you have a practice that through which you listen to your creative genius? How do you listen to it?
Well, I always have this thinking that, vision, having a vision is the prerequisite for passion. And with that in my core, it keeps me on track. So, I always say this: intent comes before content. What is my intent before anything else? So my
intent comes before content.
Yeah,
love that.
The intention. What is the main core? And that core is my vision. What is my vision? Actually, what are my vision?
Yeah.
And I have that picture in my mind. I can't draw it, but I can see it clearly like a billboard. And that keeps me on track, and that keeps my passion to push forward. That's why I'm an advocate of being resilient. Whatever happens, it hurts sometimes. You don't know what to do. You step back, look at that big billboard, be refreshed, like what you've said. Look and stay, a quiet place, go for a walk, refresh your mind, and then get back in the game. So in a way, that answers your question. It's a small part of it that I always do to keep me going. So not a technical like what you do.
So when I was saying you need to know what you want, that's what I'm talking about. You need to have the big picture of you, and even just know that, like your purpose, why you're here on the planet, these things change over time.
Yeah.
Your vision of your future is the same. It will change over time as you modify and grow, you learn and grow. You're not always going to have the same picture of the future that you think. And that's why you have to be resilient. That's why you need to be able to be listening to what's your next step, not what your parents think you should do, or what your partner thinks you should do, or even what your business partners think you should do. I listen to them, but then I sort it through my own filter. And my filter says, hey, I know that this is what I'm doing. Like, people will give me their opinion. And, I love sometimes on Instagram, I'll see somebody and they're like looking in these drawers, like, where did I put that I asked you for your opinion, right? Because, people give out a lot of opinions, and it's easy to give your opinion when you're not in the arena. When you're in the arena, you have to have one opinion, your own. Your own. And you have to listen for it and look for it.
It's funny, like, people always, like what you've said, people give opinions even when they're not asked. And that's one of the way people communicate nowadays in the social media game. They are very opinionated in a lot of things. And once they give their opinion, the following would always be judgment. When the reason why they give their opinion is to show that something's wrong with you, or what you're doing.
I'm better. I'm the expert.
Yes,
all that
things like that.
All that
so
stuff is just
and that's the negative part.
That it's so true. And I think what's true is, there are people that are really good at stuff. That's what's true. And those people often in Clubhouse will pour into you. They really will. Yes, they're self-promoting in some ways, but they also, in that format, people really did and have, poured into you all of that term that they use. I kind of like it, where you get information, and you will know. Like I was, following somebody, and they had like something you could download for about how to do something, and it seemed expensive to me, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I would pay for that. And then I thought, no, I think that guy really has something to offer. This is probably going to be really meaty, and so I paid it, and it was a 13-page PDF with pictures. And I was like, are you kidding? And so, you have to be careful out there when you're asking for help to make sure that to build your business, or to change your life, or to change your health, or to, you have to find what is right for you. And then if you get like a little inner nudge to not do it, like I got like many times, and then I went ahead and did it. And then I was like, yep, see that happened. Okay, that was $47 you could have saved and spent somewhere else, right? Had a nice dinner somewhere.
I always tell this to, not with my clients, but everyone, whenever I speak on Clubhouse or in online events. In this generation, we have a lot of information, And Pete is also a friend of mine, and your friend also.
Yes, Pete Cohen. Pete Cohen, fantastic.
Guys, Pete Cohen is amazing. He's amazing, and he said that I think 1970s we had an overload of information. Imagine now we have like a lot, and the problem now is not to get information. The problem now is to assess
discern.
Which one is authentic. How do you know if this, like what you've said, the story, you're in Clubhouse. I'm not saying that person is a fake, but you were expecting something and you got something, and that's how they play the game, right?
That's right. That's right. Or you can pay like $10 a month for something that you get from, what's the guy's name? I can't remember, John. I can't remember his name, but everything I get from him is fantastic. It's amazing. And I love listening to it. And I secretly record it, not supposed to, but, because it is really good. And so that's what I look for too, is that you want to, if you want to make change, you have to know what you want to change. And then you have to find a mentor to help you. You have to find a mentor. And get some help, but you have to trust the mentor too. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And that's, it's something that we need. It's very easy to speak, and it's very easy to say that you're doing this, you're doing that, and most of the time on Clubhouse or in any other social media platform that there's a community, it ends up being throwing a pitch, and that's not bad. It's business, but I always say this: instead of throwing out a pitch, give value. That's in a way, that's how you can show your digital footprint, your social image, your identity, that you're doing this far more bigger than just earning money or making a business.
That's right. And, I'm part of Women in Cloud, and that to me is all about giving back. This is all about empowering women in the digital space, because there aren't enough women there.
Right.
And this is one of the things that Chaitra Vidulapalli, who is the co-founder of Women in Cloud, she would say, and she says every time, it's about giving to the community. It's about giving. And in that giving, you will get everything you ever need. And that's so true.
Right.
It's true that if you give, and I think this is one of the things that I love about Pete Cohen, is he gives and gives and gives, that guy. And he's an incredible speaker.
He is.
But he's giving 300% there. And I think if you can give 300%, all things are good. It will all come to you, the things that you need, right?
Absolutely. And that's what make you, Patti, an awesome human being, because, you're authentic. You are helping people. And, Woon asked me, guys, Woon Tan is another legend in podcasting.
Yeah, definitely.
We're just throwing names here because they're awesome. They're awesome. I respect those people and I love them. I love them so much. And Woon was like saying, hey, Jan, check out Patti Dobrowolski's podcast and like that. Can we collaborate on this one? And I was like, of course. Why wouldn't I? I believe in her message. She's just an authentic human being, because I see the authenticity. You're there to help people, to really transform lives. And that's something that we all need in this generation. And imagine the generation to come.
Yes, definitely. I love that. And I thank you for this conversation, and for all your kind words, but it really is about service. And if you can, in whatever it is that you want to do with your life, think about, how can I serve? Because that's really where the key is.
Yes.
The golden key is in service to all life. So if you can serve with love, then you would live a glorious life.
I love that.
It won't be up and down, and that you won't fall into the valley of despair. Those things happen.
Yes.
But that's how you get to be from a piece of coal into a diamond. You get to really burnish yourself until you're diamond, right? As much as you can. Like now, as I'm older, I think, oh my God, I still got that rough thing on my shoulder. That is so bad. I got to get rid of that. I cannot react that way. So I'm always working on myself. That's the other thing. Work on yourself to be a better person, and ask for feedback. Ask for feedback from people about how you are in the world, so you can be the best person.
I love that, Patti. Woo! I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. First, your story. Second is throwing knowledge bomb after knowledge bomb, and just having a great conversation. Patti, I am amazed. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Is it time for us to play the game?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Right.
Okay.
So
I hope I don't need to know anything because that's going to be hard.
we call this part of the show the Creative Fast Talk. How we play the game, I will ask you random questions and you're not allowed to spend much time thinking what the right answer would be. So first word that
Okay.
comes into your mind, shoot.
Okay.
All right?
I'm ready.
You need to be 100% honest.
Okay. All right.
It's funny, right? You
Scary.
just said okay,
Yeah.
and that's impossible. So you just lied.
I know. I know. I'm sure I'm going to like censor myself somewhere. I did try to sound cool or really smart or something. Yeah.
Come
Okay.
on. You are cool. I love you. You're so cool. I love you. All right. Ready, Patty?
Ready.
All right. Question number 1. Sun or snow?
Sun.
Question number 2. Structured or chaotic?
Chaotic.
Love or money?
Love.
What is your favorite color and why?
My favorite color is chartreuse because it's green and growing.
I love that. I love that. That's branding. Love that. Next question. If you were an animal, Patty, what animal would you be and why?
A lion because I'm a Leo and I love to roar, rah. But
right.
I'm really secretly very nice.
Ooh, okay. Nice combination. I love that. Next. Popcorn and movies or dinner and dancing?
Popcorn in movies.
Passenger.
I don't know. That's hard. Dinner and dancing. Dancing sounds really good. Dancing is good.
Yes, yes. It
I would say
jives with
popcorn
your
and
character.
dancing.
Okay,
Popcorn and dancing.
She's
Okay,
a star.
all
So,
right.
okay,
Okay.
change. Next, passenger or driver?
Driver.
All right. Next, mountains or the beaches?
Beaches.
Then you really need to visit the Philippines, my dear.
I know it. I know it.
Next,
Beaches.
Patty.
I grew. Yeah.
Sure. Continue. You grew up.
No, I was going to say I grew up in LA. So
yeah.
I spent all my childhood driving, how many hours to the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next, Patty. What are you afraid of?
I'm afraid of not serving enough.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
Why?
I think that sometimes we serve ourselves more than we serve others. And so I don't want to be in service to the ego. I want to be in service to life.
Do you
and
feel
so
that?
Yeah.
In your
Pardon
journey
me?
until now, do you feel that sometimes?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Come on. I was an actor, right? So
right.
my whole thing was that I wanted to be visible and be seen on stage and have people know me, like that. And then when I had an artistic break, I realized, no, it's about service to life.
What do you say
At
to
the end
yourself
of your life,
when you feel that?
Good.
When
I feel that, I say, you're good enough. This is good. You're
love
doing
it.
good.
Love it.
Yeah.
Nice. Next,
Yeah.
movies or books?
Books.
All right. Since you answered that, there are follow-up questions according to that. Okay.
Okay.
Name your top 3 books or author of all time. Top 3.
Wallace Stegner wrote, and I can't remember his book, but I love Wallace Stegner. I read anything Shakespeare, honestly.
Third
and
one.
then I love Adam Grant.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Adam Grant.
Next is a weird question. All right. Soap or toothbrush?
Toothbrush, definitely.
All right. Towel or coffee?
Coffee.
All right. Okay. Patty, what is your dream superpower and why?
My dream superpower is to be able to translocate, which is that I could be in 2 places at once. That's my goal in this lifetime. If I can learn to do that, I will. I'll be there with you in that studio. You'll be like, hey, Patty's here. I feel her. I know she's here. I may not be able to see her, but she's here.
You will
right?
see my Batman collection.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly then.
Right. Next is, what is something that is always inside your bag when you were a kid?
Always inside my bag was a pencil and a journal.
Oh, really?
That was 2 things. Yeah, pencil and a journal, because I kept a journal from the time I was Harriet the Spy. I would write down everything. I would draw pictures in this little cartoons, bad cartoons, Mad Magazine. Yeah.
Love that. Okay, what was the weirdest food you ever tried?
Malaysian breakfast.
Okay. Well, tell us the story. I'm excited.
Well, so I'm in Malaysia and I'm a change agent working for, Michael's company.
Right.
And they send me in to do these workshops and I'm staying in this, what seems like a mansion hotel, like you go in and, but in Malaysia, the water's still not great. So you have to make sure you keep your mouth shut when you take a shower. Anyway, so breakfast arrives. And it's like dried fish and little berries and things I have never seen in my life. And so I try them. I try them all, but you're not supposed to eat all of them. So that was it. That was the weirdest food I'd ever had.
Okay. Yeah, I was there and I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But you know what? I got used to it. That's what's true. I got used to it. So, I tried it, but it was definitely the weirdest thing.
Nice. Have you tried eating insects, fried insects, grasshopper or something?
No, I don't. Have you?
The fried cricket. But not anything that is fried with. They have this fried cricket with garlic. So they're so toasted that you wouldn't say
you
the
wouldn't
difference.
know.
Yeah,
it could be a nut or it could be something.
But there are other grubs. You know what a grub is?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's not fried.
Worm.
So yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
You've seen people eat them in those shows. Right?
Yeah.
Survivor or something like that, right?
There, it's a normal delicacy. Also in Cambodia, when I was in Cambodia, you buy that, they wrap it in a banana leaf, and then straight. Sometimes they put on soy sauce and then some chilies, but that's it. So
yeah, but it's probably really got lots of protein.
Yes, they say, and it's true. It's true. It's high in protein because those grubs eat are like what you call that, bark. The wood bark of the tree. Yeah, so it's healthy, but still.
There you go. I love it.
Last question. Yeah, me too.
Question.
No, last question. This might be something serious depending on how you take it. All right.
Okay, I'm ready.
Last question. If you have the power to bring back someone back from the dead, who would it be and why?
I think I would bring back my mom because she was so fun and we had a blast together. And, she took care of my father who had Parkinson's, and then she died before he did. He was still alive. And I was like, wait a minute, I wanted her, like that. But she was amazing. Wow. So I would bring her back. Not anybody, famous like whoever, right? Martin Luther King, I probably would bring him back too. That'd be another person because he was so amazing, but like that.
But I'm sure your mom is very proud of you and she loves you so much.
Oh yeah, definitely, no doubt.
Thank you so much, Patti, first by sharing your story, giving us valuable knowledge bombs there, and now being just a good sport and having fun with us. So thank you so much, Patti. I know you have a lot going on, release of podcasts, social media platforms, and other online events. Please share them, promote it. The floor is yours.
Okay, so if you feel like you want to make a change, this is one thing. The first thing is, sign up for my podcast on Apple or Spotify, Up Your Creative Genius, because I'm interviewing change makers, people who are everyday people and also some big name people who have risen to the top of some of these Fortune 100 companies. And they have some amazing stories about how they got there. And also, some people who have transformed their bodies. This is, another thing that I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with cyclist. So I love it when people are like totally into something like that. So that's one thing. The second thing is on November 10th, and I'm assuming this will come out before then, but on November 10th, I do a Draw Your Future session online, and you can sign up for it. And all you have to do is DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is Up Your Creative Genius. DM me DYF, which is Draw Your Future. And then I'll send you the free code. And then you can come and join me doing that. And other than that, I would say, go to my website and check that stuff out. And if you want to watch a video, watch Draw Your Future. Just Google it. It'll come up. I'm the top thing when it comes up there. And you'll put it too in the show notes. But that's it. I can't wait to see everybody there.
Wow.
Because it's going to be fantastic.
Guys, I can't urge you enough to connect with Patti. I'm sure she can help you in your journey towards success. Again, Patti, I know how busy you are, and having you in the show is such a blessing. Thank you so much, Patti, for being with us.
Thank you
here
so
in the
much.
show.
Thank you. You're such an amazing person. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, so that is our episode for today, guys. I know you learned a lot because I did. Thank you, Patti. This is Jan Santos. Always have a positive outlook in life. Smile and God bless. Bye.
Thank you for being with us here on the Creative Talk Podcast. I'm your host, John Santos. Don't forget to listen and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. See you again, always.